Google just did it again. They just released Gemini 2.5 Pro, and it's being said that it's crushing the other models. Let's take a look at some of these benchmarks here. So, based on the benchmarks from humanity's last exam, which is supposed to be one of the hardest tests, science, math, coding. If you look at this compared to ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, and Deepseek, I mean, it's being said that it's outperforming. Google itself is saying that this is their most intelligent AI model. And the other thing to note is the Arena LLM, which is over 1 million user voters that actually use it. So aside from benchmarks, these are people that use it for real use cases. And right now, um, as of March 27th, 2025, it is at the top of the leaderboard, outperforming Grok, ChatGPT, Deepseek, and some other models. So today we're going to run some tests. We're going to take these models and we're going to do some coding tests, image with text, and writing, and try to compare. And we'll see for ourselves. We'll see if Gemini 2.5 Pro holds up to what everybody's currently saying about it. So let's go over the models we're going to use today. We're going to use Grok. We're going to use Claude, Deepseek, Gemini, and ChatGPT. So just to start, I'm kind of going to go over some of the coding. We're going to create one-shot prompts. So this isn't like you're going to be continually coding, but it's just one prompt that we'll see how it will turn out. The same thing for the images. We're not going to refine images. It's just one shot for each of these models, as well as writing. So the first coding task is going to be create a particle system in P5.js with no HTML, where particles are attracted or repelled by the mouse with physics-based motion, color changes based on speed, and particle regeneration. And once we have these models code, we're going to use the editor, the p5js.org editor, and I'll give you that. And like I said, I told you how to use it for free. So when it comes to Gemini specifically, if you don't have the advanced paid version, then you can go to aistudio.google.com and you can take a look and try in the upper right-hand corner under the model. You'll see that Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental is an option. So this is a free way to use it. Today, I'm going to use my Gemini because I have the paid version. All right, let's get into coding. So creating this particle system, we will prompt ChatGPT 4.0, Deepseek, Claude, Grok, and now Gemini. So it looks like ChatGPT is done. Deepseek, Claude, Grok are still coding. Oh, it looks like Grok's done. We'll give Grok a try first. All right, so not too colorful, but if I put the mouse in a location, they're attracted. If I click the mouse, they separate. So not bad. Let's use Claude. Here is Claude 3.7 Sonnet. So although there's animation and it's colorful and it looks pretty cool, when I'm clicking, nothing's really happening. Part of the prompt was that if I clicked, these would be attracted or repelled. So overall, not so great. Next, we will try Deepseek. Here is Deepseek. And this actually is working based on the prompt. So it's repelling or attracting the particles. And you see up here in the top, it even says once you click, repel or attract. So this one so far is probably the best Deepseek. Next, we're going to use ChatGPT. All right, so this is working. It's not very colorful. It's just one color, but um, when I move my mouse, it's attracting. When I click the mouse, it's repelling. So pretty decent job. DeepSeek, as of now, is still the best, I think. Let me know in the comments what you think so far. All right, and here is Gemini 2.5 Pro. Gemini 2.5 Pro. And it shows the mode, but it doesn't appear to be really repelling or attracting too great. A little bit, but very subtly. Um, all the objects are different colors. So for this test, I think DeepSeek probably wins. All right. So the next test is we're going to code um, an endless recursive colorful fractal image in P5.js, no HTML, that responds to mouse scroll and arrow keys. Grok, Claude. All right, so it looks like Grok is completed. Two of these models are still coding. Let's try Grok. So again, the prompt that we used was to code an endless recursive colorful fractal image in P5.js, no HTML. So we can use it in this testing web browser editor. And it responds to a mouse scroll or arrow keys. Here's Grok. And I think when I think of a fractal recursive image, I think of something that um, moves and changes shape. So doesn't appear that Grok really created what I asked, but again, I'm not a programmer, so could be. All right, let's give Claude a try. Here is Claude. Okay, this is kind of more what I was looking for. So you see when you zoom in, it's like the image continues and continues. This is pretty cool. So as you scroll, it just keeps the image going, almost like an endless image. So that's pretty good. I would say that much better than Grok so far. Moving on to Deepseek. Let's see what Deepseek gives us. Interesting tree. So whether I use the mouse or the keyboard, it appears to be working. Something a little different. It's a little bit wonky though, so it's just kind of moving by itself. I'm not really doing anything. So I'm gonna have to say this is not great from Deepseek. All right, moving on to ChatGPT. This is kind of what Grok created. So just an image that you can scroll, can move with arrow keys, just kind of lighting up. Um, Definitely not like Claude. All right, let's give Gemini a try. Okay, so this is kind of like what Deepseek created, except it actually works. So when I scroll my mouse up and down, it creates this. And as I scroll, it changes color and hues. So out of this, I think between Gemini and Claude for this specific test, tell me what you think in the comments. Now we're going to move to the next test, a game, which is super cool. Uh, let's see how these models stack up to games. So now the game that we're going to create is a beautiful, addictive running game in P5.js, no HTML, with a purple elephant who has to jump over lions, tigers, and objects. The elephant should be able to move left, right, up, and flip. So a little more complicated. I think every model is now coding. Let's see how Grok is doing. Claude, Deepseek, ChatGPT, and Gemini. Now, the cool thing to see of 2.5 Pro is the thinking and the chain of thought, which is a little more sophisticated than some of the other thinking models that we've talked about. So you can show the thinking or don't show the thinking. All right, I think Grok is done. So this model, it has graphics aren't great, and I guess I can jump. Controls aren't very great, and the actual movement is pretty difficult. All right, let's try Claude. In the last test, Claude, I think, had the most sophisticated output. Let's see how it creates games. So that code didn't appear to be working, but sometimes you can copy it wrong. Let me try again. Here's Claude. And for this one-shot game, nothing appears to be happening. It looks like there's an error at the bottom. So I guess in this one-shot coding game test, I would say that Claude failed. I can reprompt it to let it know that this doesn't work. Now we'll try Deepseek. Right? So far, this is the best working game. Looks like a old arcade style game. a score. All right, so I would say so far Deepseek definitely the best output. Claude failed. Um, Grok not very great. Let's try ChatGPT and Gemini. Here is ChatGPT. And this actually, I'll refresh the browser. Try it again. So ChatGPT, it looks like there is a error. Try it one more time. Yeah, so it looks like there's an error. Nothing's working, nothing's moving. So we'll call ChatGPT a fail for this game test. Lastly, we'll give Gemini a try. So far it looks like Deepseek actually is outperforming some of these other models, which is pretty crazy. All right, here's Gemini. Mm, It's the most that looks like an elephant. That's purple. I'll refresh this. Give it one more try. Make sure I copied the code correctly. It does not appear to be working. Oh, let's see. All right, so we'll prompt, this isn't working. And let's go back and try Claude one more time because it wasn't working. This was the second prompt. So Deepseek so far is the only one-shot prompt for this game. I guess Grok technically as well, just wasn't great. This was Claude's second attempt. So with a second attempt, this actually, you can move left, right, you can, objects are moving, you can actually roll. So everything that I asked for, although it took 2 prompts, you can roll, you can move left to right. So this is pretty decent. 2 prompts with Claude. Let's check um, ChatGPT, second attempt. kind of interesting where square objects and they're labeled lion, tiger, kind of funny. So it doesn't really, doesn't look like you can restart the game by doing anything, clicking any buttons. I just have to keep restarting it manually. It's not exactly working. Sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not. This controls, moves left, right. Not very great, but at least it somewhat works on the second shot. Let's give, right, so looks like Gemini is asking me to rerun. So maybe I copied this code wrong. Let me try one last time. So this Gemini code was the exact code. Sometimes the browser doesn't always work properly. Nope. All right, so Gemini, we're going to call a fail for this specific. Next, so we did some of the coding simulations. Next is going to be image with text. So images alone, not all these editors have. And then text with the image is another thing. The other thing to note is when you're having lots of specific images that you're asking for within a model, sometimes it doesn't output correctly. So in this case, I took every letter of the alphabet and I asked, and I have a fruit associated with every letter of the alphabet. And I'm going to ask the models to input or create one photorealistic image that creatively contains only one of the following fruits, to number each fruit and write the fruit's name next to it. So let's see how Grok does. Claude does not have image generation yet, so we'll call it a fail for the image text test. Deepseek does not have image generation yet, but it is pretty good at describing images for AI editors. And ChatGPT 4.0 and Gemini. So really right now, the only image capabilities are Grok, Gemini, and ChatGPT. So let's see. All right, so Grok created fruit in an image. I don't think that there's every fruit identified, these 26 different fruits. It didn't create any text and it did not name the fruit. Gemini. So it looks like Gemini almost did it, but the text is messed up. So the words aren't spelled correctly. It looks like there's some mismatches. And there's only 20 objects that I can see. So definitely a little better. Now, ChatGPT just released a image tool just the other day. So you can actually edit images, create images in the 4.0 model, which before it didn't have any image capability. You were able to create images within ChatGPT, but under some of the different models. And so far, I've been playing around with this probably for the past day. When it comes to actually text in images, this is probably one of the better tools. And just the fact that it's almost like a studio, so you can upload an image of yourself or something. You can ask it to recreate, edit the image, and you can keep prompting it. So it's almost like you can get really creative generating images. Actually, the thumbnail for this video I created with ChatGPT 4.0 image generation. It took a lot of iterations and it took some extra tools as well. So it wasn't exactly just created with 4.0, but uh, you can see the power when you start to use it. So if you haven't used this yet, I would definitely give it a try. Um, Looking at some of the images, so between Grok, Gemini, and OpenAI's ChatGPT. I think in this case, I asked for photorealistic images. So Grok did give photorealistic images somewhat not correct. No text, no numbers. Gemini, uh, this is more, I guess, illustrations, I would call it. So it failed to pick up the photorealistic. And ChatGPT did pick up the photorealistic. It numbered and it labeled some of the fruit. I use this specific test because a lot of these models can create great photos. So all these models can create great photos, imagination, different styles, stuff like that. But when you're asking for specific objects in the photo, and then you're on top of that putting numbers and text and asking to count the objects, that really tests the model's capabilities. So um, OpenAI is definitely getting closer. And if you test out this yourself at some point, you'll see the power. Just again, this is a pretty difficult test for an AI image generator tool right now, which is why we used it. But overall, we'll say ChatGPT wins this. And lastly, is writing and creativity. So we are going to have each model invent a completely new primary color, unlike any existing color or combination, and describe what it looks like and how it makes someone feel emotionally when they see it. So, going to writing, creativity, creating something new, the model has to go through a lot of different thinking and logical processes to and reasoning to create this. So, let's ask this question to Grok, Claude, Deepseek, ChatGPT, and now Gemini. All right, so Grok really gave a pretty long response. I'm going to ask it to summarize it in a short paragraph. I probably should have asked it to be short and concise. So Grok created a color called Xylarhar, a newly invented primary color that transcends traditional spectrums, appearing as a shimmering, outworldly luminescence with a shifting, almost alive texture, like a radiant void or liquid starlight. It doesn't blend with other colors, but amplifies their essence while remaining distinct emotionally. It evokes awe, transcendence, and a deep connection to the universe, inspiring a sense of unity, purpose, and hopeful longing. as if it awakens a forgotten truth and urges exploration. So if I look at the more detailed, it goes on to talk about in detail the description of the color. Not not bad. Let's see what um, Claude comes up with. And for each of these, I'm just going to ask it to summarize in a short paragraph as well. So Claude came up with Elathar. Entirely new primary color that exists perpendicular to our known spectrum. So it's identifying that it's not on the color spectrum, appearing as a vibrant sensation that simultaneously pulses with motion while remaining completely still. It creates momentary distortion when we first view it, evoking a unique emotional response that blends surprise with unexpected familiarity. Hmm. I kind of like this. Um, Deepseek. So Deepseek created obviously all these words I can't pronounce. They thorough. All right. Groundbreaking primary color, an iridescent fusion of shimmering silver and hyper violet that emits its own pulsing glow, shifting with perspective and light, tranquil. I kind of like this emotional and psychological impact. It talks about the theoretical science behind the color, cultural and artistic impact. This is pretty good. Next, we'll look at ChatGPT. So, Verilyn, it says that let's summarize this one. What it looks like, how it feels. So, this is a living, shimmering hue that seems to hum visually. So, the actual language, how it describes this color, is actually really good. It says, imagine looking at the shimmer of moonlight through mist, the depth of the ocean beyond blue, and the iridescence of a hummingbird's wing, but in one single hue, and it invokes a profound equilibrium. All right, Gemini. And again, you can see some of the thinking, some of the other models have this as well. And Gemini created something Athelger. So it's not a hue on the spectrum. How it feels. Conceptual primary color beyond normal human perception, so we can't perceive it, but it appears as a single hue, but as a resonant, internally glowing presence with a shifting crystal or liquid crystal like texture. I mean, overall, on these writing models, I would say I guess it depends. Every model, from my experience, how you prompt it. This was pretty simple. The test made it create something different. So in all cases, every one of these models kind of followed directions for the writing. Um, but as far as some of the coding and programming, I mean, Gemini is definitely up there. The one thing I will say is that Gemini 2.5 Pro has a lot of sophisticated programming knowledge and coding tools that a lot of programmers are using. I was just using the simple web-based browser. So I was asking for it to code a specific JavaScript so I could test it today. And through a lot of different prompts and testing, I've created some pretty cool things with Gemini, and I've created some cool things with the other models. Usually it's not just a one-shot prompt. Um, if you go and you take a look at some of the cool things that Google has created, similar, these are all one prompt games. So simulations, games, little dinosaur jumping, and it shows the actual prompts. This is similar to some of the things we created today. But all in all, tell me what you think. And if you like this video, share it, subscribe, and let me know if there are any other tutorials or any other tools that you'd like to try. And I'll do my best to keep putting out content.